Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Adora, and if you're just coming across this channel for the first time, thank you very much for stopping by. And I hope that before you get to the end of this video, you will have a reason to subscribe. So today I bring you this true life story of another unfortunate event that has just happened here again in the UK, and it's quite similar to something I have said before on this channel. I have actually given a story like this, just very similar to this on this channel before. And I don't know if you have seen that video and you watch this one, you know that there's not much difference. And I am not surprised this is a recurrence, because these things do happen on a daily basis. It's just the one you hear about that you are actually aware of. A lot of times these things happen and you may not even know about it. But understand very well that you cannot always be extra careful, especially when it comes to this issue of marriage. When it comes to the issue of your relationship, you are so deep involved in love. You are so deep in trust, you're trusting the person so much that you are not actually seeing the other side of the person or of the situation you found yourself in, which I clearly understand. When you enter a relationship or a marriage, no one is actually praying or hoping to see the negative or the bad side of it. We are all hoping for the best in that relationship. So there's this lady here in UK. She lives somewhere in Leicester, and for security reasons, I would not be calling her name. She came into the UK so many years back. She's been in the UK for a very long time, and she actually met and fell in love with this gentleman, and they started life together. Now, before they got married, she told the man that she has not been home in a very long time. She's actually from Nigeria. She said she has not been home in a very long time and that she would like to go home and visit her people. So the man said, okay, fine, let's get married, let's marry, go to the registry, get married, and then we can go home later to see your parents and do the formal things, do the traditional rites, and all of that. So the agreement they reached was that, okay, they will just go to the court, do the registry or the law for the the legal thing, the marry legally in the registry here, then after which they will go home and see both families, and then carry out the traditional rites like we Africans are used to and we normally do. So they agreed on that, and then they went to the court. They got married here in UK. It was a small gathering. It was nice. That was sealed. So the agreement was that, okay, they will travel home the next year during the Christmas season of the next year to visit their families and do the normal thing. So on the girl's side, or rather on the lady's side, she has already informed her family back home that, okay, his family is coming to see you guys very soon, so for the introduction and all that. And her family has agreed. His family on the other side too have agreed. They have fixed a date for the introduction. So while they were here in the UK preparing to go home for Christmas, and then where they will actually visit both families, that is the next year to come, the girl was actually working hard. The guy was also working hard. They were trying to put things together, because now they were not just going home on just to visit. They were actually going home to celebrate their traditional marriage. So it has to do with money. This was now money that was going to be involved. So she knew they needed enough of this money to be able to make things happen. And you know how we do these things back home. You want to do a big party. You want to call people. You want to lock down the streets. You want something big. We Africa, especially we Nigerians, we don't do anything small. We don't go for small. We always want to make it loud. We want to make it noticeable. And especially when you're coming from the diaspora, everybody's like, oh, abroad. So you yourself coming from the diaspora, you don't also want to disappoint them. You don't want to disappoint yourself. In other words, you don't want to fall anybody's hands. So they were preparing financially and then trying to put things together so that they will make it a memorable event. So 5 months before they were to go home, the man called the lady and said, you know what, why don't we put some money together and get a place in Nigeria where we will stay when we go back to Nigeria, so that we don't have to stay with families and inconvenience them and all that. And the girl was like, But we're not going home to stay in the sense that we're not going there to remain forever. It's just a temporal thing. We're just going there to do our traditional marriage where both families will be involved, and we come back home. So it's not like we're going to stay there. And the man was like, yeah, I understand. But what I'm trying to say is, don't you think we should just build ourselves a small property there, a small house, so that when we go to Nigeria, and then in future, anytime we go to Nigeria in future, we can always have a place of our own to stay, instead of inconveniencing families, staying in their farm, in their homes, or instead of wasting money staying in the hotel. And the girl was like, well, that sounds like a good idea. It will not hurt if they have a 3-bedroom house, or something not too massive, but just something that they can actually live in, which is their own, and have their privacy and be comfortable without stressing other people around them. So it's fine. She was okay with this, and she asked the man, say, how long do we have to put this thing in place? Because we just have 5 months to our traveling home, and 5 months to the traditional thing. Do you think 5 months is enough to build anything? Why don't we rent? And the man was like, oh, no, we can't rent, because renting is not going to be worth it. Since we live here in the UK, if we rent and we leave the house back home and we come back here, it's going to be a waste. Who's going to be in the house and all that? And she was like, oh, you're right, you have a point. Then the man said, you know what, let's just build a bungalow. Let's build something small, not something extraordinary. Let's just get a small building where we can just build, even if it's a 3-bedroom bungalow, or a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom bungalow, just something mini. And she said, no, that's fine. And then we got to it. And then at this point, the lady said again, but we don't have a piece of land. So where are you going to build it? The man said, don't worry. I have someone who is into properties, real estate and all that. I'm just going to make a call and see how he can get us a piece of land somewhere. And then after a few days, the guy came back and said, oh yeah, I've spoken to my friend, and he said he's got a piece of land somewhere in my area, where he would want us to buy, this small piece of land, and we can start building. So the girl said, where exactly is this piece of land? And the man said, it's, he mentioned this area, and this place is just it's in his own area, it's in his state, it's in his own neighborhood, like where he grew up. And the girl was not too comfortable with that, because she felt, why would he want to be in your area? Like, why not in a neutral place? And so they actually settled for Lagos. They now decided to go for somewhere outskirts of Lagos, like the very, very outskirts of Lagos, because they concluded that buying a piece of land inside of Lagos was very expensive. So they went a little bit far off from Lagos, and they got something moderate. So now, after buying this piece of land, they were sending money home, because they found someone who could actually help them build and monitor the progress of their house. And they were sending money from here, and the house was going on and all that. And just about 3 months to their departure back to Nigeria, the man called the woman and said, honey, I would like to go to Nigeria and see things. I want to just go monitor these things and see how they are doing it, just to be sure that they're building it to our taste, and then it's what we want. We would not want to go to Nigeria and we're stranded because it's not what we actually expected, And the lady was like, yeah, well, anyway, okay, that's fine, you can go. So the woman went to Nigeria. He spent 2 weeks in Nigeria. He went to monitor the house and all that, and then he came back. And then after he came back, everything went smoothly. One day he woke up again and said, honey, I need to buy a ticket. I need to rush down to Nigeria. I need to go and monitor the project. I need to go and check things out. And she said, but you just came back the other day. Is there any problem? Is there anything I need to know about this house? And the man said, no, not really. It's just that we need to make sure that it's built well. There's no problem, no complications. There's nothing, since you have not been to Nigeria in a long time, I would not want you to go to Nigeria and you're stressed out, complaining about, what you said we should do. It's not done well and all that, blah, blah, blah. And then he also came up with the excuse that, when you ask people to do things for you back home and you're not there, they don't do it well. So it's always better you are around to monitor them, to supervise them. And the girl said, you're very right, that's true. So the man went back to Nigeria, and then he kept going, and they were sending money from here, and they were putting this house together, and the man was sending pictures. There was no problems at all, because everything was actually working according to how they expected it. A month before they went to Nigeria, the man said again, honey, I want to go to Nigeria. I just got a call about that land, the area where we built our house. Someone, according to him, he said someone actually called him to say that the community where the house is, like the owners of that community, the villagers of that area, the people that own that area, that community as a whole, someone actually called the man and said that that land has been in dispute for a very long time, that in fact another family is claiming ownership of the land. So the man should come home and let them settle these things. So immediately the man told the wife, she started panicking because she has heard a lot of all these moneyless stories. She has heard a lot of all this land grabbing and all that. And she didn't really want to get involved in all those stress. So the man said, don't worry, I will rush back home. I will just go home. Let's see how to sort it out. So the man went back home. And on getting home, he called the woman and said, we've had a meeting. And the problem is that there's another family that this land was sold to, even after it was sold to them. So now this family wants to be compensated. But it's not their business whether the family should be compensated or not, because they were not the ones that sold the land to the second family in the first place. So the second family should go and meet the landowners, the original landowners who sold it to them. So now the original landowners are asking, okay, just asking this couple, can you just please give us a little, just something little, please, that they are very sorry for what happened. If they could just sort out something, a little bit of money, so that they will settle the other family. So this man, here he is now telling his wife that they need money, a little bit of money to sort, to settle the other family. And the wife is saying, but it's none of our business. Like, we're not the ones that sold the land to the second family. So they should sort that out with the original landlords. And, this kept going on. And just because she didn't want stress, she had to tell the man, if this thing is if it's going to the point where, he's going to stress us out, maybe we should just sell the land out and then recover our money. And the man was like, no, don't worry. I'm going to sort it out. And after a while, the man came back. And the lady here was working. She was doing extra shifts. She was doing all she could, because at this point, money has already gone. The amount of money they had in their account has seriously depleted, because the man has been traveling home very often. Cost of tickets, airfare, money has been spent in the house. This was not among their initial plan to build a house. So money that has been spent in building this house was another means of collecting money from their account. So she was working extra shifts. She was doing all she could to raise money. And then a month before they went back, she just called the husband and said, listen, we haven't even bought our flight tickets yet. We just have 1 more month to go to Nigeria. Why don't we buy this thing now before it gets too expensive? And then the man was like, don't worry, don't buy it yet. Wait, I have an agent that we could always buy from anytime you want to travel, even if you want to travel 2 days before. Once I contact that agent, they always give us a very good price. They'll give us a ticket at a very good price. And she said, okay. And then life continued. And one day again, the man came and said he wants to quickly travel to Nigeria. He wants to just put finishing touches to the house. And the woman was like, enough. Traveling. This is money we're wasting for tickets. That's okay, fine. Whether the house is done or not, when they go to Nigeria, they will fix whatever is left of it. But for now, enough of the traveling. That money is going out and not much is coming in. And the man was like, let me just go and fix things and let me just go and see things. And when the thing was almost, sometimes when you're in a relationship and you're not comfortable with something and you're trying to argue it out with your second half, and then it turns to a kind of argument. Just sometimes for peace to reign, you just decide to keep quiet. Not because you are comfortable with the situation you have found yourself. Not because you don't know what you're doing. Not because you want the other person to win. It's not a competition, but just because you want peace to reign. So you just keep quiet and, just let it die down. So that was what happened. At this point, she just decided that, okay, let her just ignore. And they didn't buy the tickets to go home. And then finally, a week before they traveled, they got these tickets. And when they bought these tickets, it was like too much. It was too expensive. And this lady she was complaining. She was, like, this is too much. How are they going to spend this amount of money just to buy tickets? And what happens when they come back? They will start stressing themselves, working long hours just to make ends meet again, just to cover up all the loss and all that. So, she was really nagging and complaining and all that. She didn't really feel, she wasn't really comfortable about it. So they went home. They went for their traditional marriage. They did everything. They had the kind of traditional marriage they were expecting. It was nice. It was good. All that was done. That was a wrap. And they came back to UK. After 2 months, this man said he wanted to go home, that he has a project he's handling in Nigeria. And the woman was like, what project is that? You never mentioned this to me before. He said, yes, when they went to Nigeria the last time, that he actually saw a piece of land. His friend, he met his old friend who came to the traditional marriage, a piece of land the old friend wants to sell, and that this friend is eager to sell the land because he needs some money. So he wants to buy the land from the friend. And the wife said, why are you buying a piece of land? That's not part of our budget for now. Like, we just bought one, we've just built a house. Why buy another one? And he said, well, there's no harm in accumulating these things. These are assets. You can always make money out of it later. So he went. The bottom line of this whole thing is that this man kept going to Nigeria, to and fro, just like that. You see, sometimes I tell people, like, if you notice, if you live abroad with your partner, your wife, your husband, and you observe that they are very, very good in traveling home almost all the time for one project or the other, you have to be very observant. You have to be watchful, and you have to be asking questions, because sometimes your instincts could be right. Sometimes when you even think, what are they always going home to do? What is this person always going home to do? Is it all about project? You need to start asking yourself, is it really about project? Like, if your project back home is taking so much of your time, like if it's consuming a lot of you and it needs your presence so much, why don't you just remain there? Like, what's the point of staying abroad and every month you are back home doing one project or the other? Just stay there then and face it. So they continued, and then the man went home for this project. He came back, and then after he came back this time around, his attitude changed, his behavior changed, and this woman could notice it. She felt there was something different about her husband. She felt there was something new about this man. She just knew that this man was no longer the husband she used to know. He was no longer the man she used to know. She just knew there was a change about this man. She really could not put her fingers on what the problem was, but she knew something was wrong. Then one day she decided to just confront the man and say, come, I noticed that for some time now your attitude your character has changed, your behavior has changed. There's something wrong. If there's something I have done wrong, you tell me, then I can apologize. The man was like, no, it's not about you. And then, anyway, to cut the long story short, one day the man just called again, came to her and said, you know what, I need to go to Nigeria, and this time around I'm going to be there for about 3 months because there's something I need to finish up. And the woman was like, if you're going to Nigeria this time, I am going with you. Enough of this Nigeria you always go to all the time. Like, what is it? Did we get married for you to be, staying away back in Nigeria? If the plan is for you to relocate to Nigeria and I'm here, then just come out straight and tell me that, okay, that's what I want to do, so that I know exactly where I stand. Not every minute you are back home in Nigeria while I am here. So the man was like, don't worry, I just want to go and fix some things, then next time we'll go together. And this thing carried on for years. It's carried on for a very long time. The man was always going home, while the woman hardly ever went home, apart from the only time they went to do their traditional marriage. But how did she eventually find out what happened? One day, while the husband was away at work, she decided to do some cleaning, to clean the house and put the house in order. And while she was cleaning, she discovered a document under her husband's office table, and very unlikely of her, she does not really read her husband's letters or documents. She doesn't open it. So, but this very one, somehow her gut feelings told her to just open this letter. And then she decided to open it to read this letter, and she discovered it was a document, a house document, and it was a particular house it's somewhere in Nigeria that she didn't know of. She had no idea this house was even existing. So she looked at it. She discovered that the house has just been bought, money paid, everything sealed, and she looked at the dates. This actually happened like 3 months before then. And she was like, 3 months ago, this man actually bought and sealed this house deal, and she didn't know about it. And she was wondering what's happening. So when the husband came back, she asked him, she showed him the letter and said, what's this? And the man said, oh, I was planning to tell you. I was planning to surprise you. And the girl was like, but this is 3 months now. So when exactly were you planning to tell me that you bought a house, without me knowing and all that? And the man said that I was waiting for the right time. So but at that time, she has already started to feel something was not right. She just began to feel there was something wrong somewhere. There was something this man was actually hiding. But she just kept her cool. And one day, sometimes when your instincts begin to tell you something, when your instincts begins to pinch you, you will just feel there's something hidden somewhere. You will just feel there's something you need to know. There's something you are not knowing, or there's something that is hidden away from you. You just feel it. That's why in most cases, it's always good to follow your gut instincts, because 80% of the time, they are very, very right. So one day, the lady decided she wanted to go to Nigeria for a friend's mother's burial. Now, this her friend's mom died in Nigeria, and this lady was the late woman was the principal of a school where this lady in UK attended. So this lady in UK and her friend, that's the daughter to the deceased woman, were friends when they were back in school. Back in the days, a very long time ago. So when the woman died, and this lady back here in UK felt she's my friend's mom, it would be nice if she attends the burial. Not just my friend's mom, this was my ex-principal, and they had a good relationship. So she just felt it was time to pay the woman her last respect. And they decided, okay, they were going to go to Nigeria. So she told her husband about it, that she was going to Nigeria, but that she was only going to spend just 3 days. She only wanted to go for the burial and come back, because her office here did not give her a long time. They didn't give her such a long leave to be away from work. So the husband asked her, so where are you going to stay when you get to Nigeria? She said she was going to stay with her friend in the friend's state, in just the exactly where they're doing the burial, that she won't have time to move around or visit people, to move anywhere, to go anywhere. So the husband was like, okay, no problems. So this lady went home to Nigeria with her friend for the burial. They finished the burial, and she just felt she should go to Lagos. This burial was not in Lagos, it was in the east. But something just talked to her, go to Lagos, just go to Lagos. And she was like, well, there is no harm in enjoying Lagos, even if it's just one day. Let me just go to Lagos, spend some time in Lagos. Then from there, I head over to the airport and I get back to UK. So she went to Lagos, and actually she stayed in a hotel. But towards evening time, she just called a friend and said, I want to go somewhere. Can you come and take me? So she called a friend, and her friend came over with her car, and she said, listen, I want to go to the house where myself and my husband built, and I just feel like I should just go and see the place. I don't have a sleep there, but just drive around. She just wanted to be sure, everything is okay, no problems and all that. So when she drove there. When they got to the estate, the street where the house was, she discovered that there was a light coming from the house. Like there was a light, reflection of a light from one of the rooms in the house. And it was very, very obvious, because even when they drove closer to the gates of the house, there was music coming from the house. So she was like, why is there light coming from this house? Or did we leave the lights on before we traveled? And the music, where is that coming from? So she told her friend, just wait here, let me just go and check out something. So she came out from the car, went closer, knocked on the gates, and an outside guy, a security man, came out and said, yeah, madam, can I help you? And she said, yeah, this is my house. And security man was like, your house? She said, yeah, yes. And she asked security man, who are you? Because she remembers they didn't keep any security man. This was a house that was under lock and key after they left the house and went back to UK. So who put a security man here? Her husband didn't tell her that he has employed any security man here. And the security man said, well, my madam, they stay here. And she dey inside. Now she they play music. They hear the music, so. And the woman was like, who is your madam? And the security man said, okay, wait, let me go and call her. So security man went in, and when he came out of the house, lo and behold, there was a pregnant woman standing behind him. And this lady was a bit shocked. At this point, she was not still clear on what was happening. And she introduced herself politely. Yeah, this is my name, so and so. I live in the UK. I just came in, and what's happening? I'm surprised to see you in this house because this is supposed to be my husband, me and my husband's house. What are you doing here, madam? And the woman was like, sorry, who is your husband? This is the pregnant woman asking, who is your husband? And she called her husband's name. And the pregnant woman was shocked. She was like, are you kidding me or something? And they were both shocked. They were both surprised. The pregnant woman was like, what are you saying? How can you say that man is your husband? This lady was like, I said, this is my husband. When it was becoming like, you are lying, you're not lying, that's a lie, that's not true. She brought her phone and showed the pregnant woman. And the pregnant woman staggered. She staggered. She was, at that point, it was like a situation of shock. She was in shock when she saw the man's picture. And she asked the woman, is this really your husband? She said, yes, we live together in UK. And this house, we built it. And the pregnant woman went on her knees and said, madam, I am very, very confused. I don't know what to do. The woman was sweating. And this is a woman that was heavily pregnant. And the woman said, this man whose picture you have just shown me now is my husband. We got married about a year ago. And he told me to come and stay in this house. This is where I have been staying for a while now. And this one I went from UK was like, it was as if she wanted the ground to open up and swallow her. She didn't know what was happening. She was confused, number one. Number two, she was still living in denial. She was still saying, no, it's not true. It's not possible. No. I mean, there's a mix-up somewhere. Something is wrong. At some point, she had to ask the woman, or did my husband rent out a room to you? Because she didn't want to believe that her husband has another wife back home. And the pregnant woman said, no, he married me. He went to my village. She mentioned her village. And do you know what? The funny part of it is that this lady, the pregnant woman, and the man are from the same village. So the long and short of it is that the man was actually married back home in Nigeria. And he put the pregnant woman in the same house he and his wife has worked for. And this was the reason why he was always going to Nigeria in the name of one project or the other. That lady was actually his project. And the project that they started how many years ago was now about to, manufacture a real human being. Which left this UK woman heartbroken because she, at that point, knew that, okay, so this is the reason why he has been lying to me that he was going home for one project or the other and all of that. So she didn't want to live there without a proof. So she told the pregnant woman, do you want us to call him? I need us to call him. Let him know that I know what has happened. And the pregnant woman, one funny things, what even surprised me in this case was that the pregnant woman was cooperating. Now I was asking myself, was she cooperating out of fear? Maybe she didn't know what this woman was up to. Did she think the woman was going to throw her out of the house, so she just had to cooperate? Or was she cooperating because, I don't really know why, but she was really cooperating, which was very, very very unheard of, because I know stories where the women will always want to argue with you. They want to start a fight and cause a scene with you. They want to, they always want to make it look like, he's my husband, all those kind of things. But then this woman in UK, she picked up her phone and called her husband and they greeted and everything was nice. And she told her husband, guess where I am? And the man said, where? He said, I'm in Lagos. The man was like, are you coming back so soon? She said, I will be coming back, but I just want you to speak to someone. And she gave the phone to the pregnant woman. And when the pregnant woman said hello, The man said hello, hello. And the pregnant woman said hello and mentioned her name. It is me, this. And the man's line went off. He cut off the phone because, of course, he didn't know what to say. At that point, this woman knew it was true. Anyway, she left the pregnant woman. She told the pregnant woman, this is not between me and you. It is between me and my husband. When I get back to UK, you will hear from me. And she left. Came back to the UK. Of course, the husband was very ashamed of himself. He couldn't really face the woman. He didn't really know what to say. So this is not a matter of suspecting him anymore. He was caught in the act. So he could not deny it. All he had to do was to start begging and apologizing and, and all that. But he has already lost the trust the wife had for him. He has lost the love, because one thing with this trust of a thing is that once you give someone the rights to not to trust you anymore, love also depreciates. So he came back, she came back, and he was begging and all that, and the woman just told him, listen, enough, if this is the reason why you have been going on your different projects from time to time, and the funny part of it is that she's from the village, and your family even took her. Your family knew about this. They knew you were getting married to this woman. And from the calculation, he even married this pregnant woman before he married this lady in UK. So she's like the second wife in this case. Can you imagine? She's like second. So anyway, the woman lost trust for her husband, and she just told the husband, you know what? I think we should just pack it up. It's not going to work. There's no point. You've already started with lies. You have already started with mistrust. You have already started with, breaking my heart and all that. There's no point saying it's not going to happen again in future, because where are you going to keep the pregnant woman? She's still in the picture, and there's no point of me tagging along as if it never happened. That this picture of what she saw when she went out to Nigeria will always haunt her. So she just told the man, let's quit. Let's stop it right from now. We haven't even gone too far in the marriage of a thing. It's better not for anyone to get hurt anymore. So let's just stop it. And the man thought she was joking. Sometimes when people say, I'm done, you think you want to beg and beg and beg and beg and plead, and you want to give the person a second chance to go and rethink. Some people are not. They don't have that time for a second chance. Once they say, I'm done, they are done. In fact, even before they say they are done, they have moved on in their hearts. It's not left for you to accept it and deal with it. So that's it, guys. So the moral lesson from this story is just be very careful. Now, people will say it's usually the men that go home and have women back home and all that. Yes, that's the most common one. But I have also heard in this same UK, I have also heard of a lady that got married here, went back to Nigeria, and got married to her ex, someone she was dating in the past, and they broke up. She got married to that one also there. So I don't know where people get this heart, or rather this mind, to do these strange things, but these things do happen. So if I come back tomorrow and tell you another story of how somebody went home to be doing one project, because they're always calling it project back home, don't be surprised that these stories keep recurring, because they usually do, especially people living in diaspora. A lot of them have this thing about going home to marry. They will marry here and they will still go home and say they are marrying the real one, the real husband or the real wife. So these things happen. So it's just for you to be able to be careful, be vigilant, be smart, be wise, and know exactly what you're doing when you are involved in a relationship, especially this abroad relationship. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I do hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments whatsoever about this story, please kindly leave it in the comment section, and please do me that favor, press the red subscribe button, subscribe to this channel, share, and also like it. Thank you.